All right, so now you know the job position. You know what is expected in terms of key performance areas. You know the performance standards that are set for you. Now we've got to make sure that everyone is performing according to those specifications. So we're going to monitor people's performance. We're going to make sure that they are aligned to the outcomes of the team. So the first thing that I want to just make you aware of is that we need to have a balanced scorecard. Okay, because it's not always about money. So it needs to be financial. So how much money am I contributing, or how much value am I adding through what I do? Then we need to make sure that the customer is looked after. Am I giving quality work to the customer? Is my customer getting things on time? What is your customer's communication with me like? So there needs to be that element also built into my performance. Then internal business processes. Am I following the right processes? Do I go through the right channels? Am I creating and innovating within what I need to be doing? Okay. Then learning and growth. Am I growing? Am I developing? Am I learning new things? Am I mentoring other people? So we need to be looking not just at the money or the profits. We need to be looking at the money. We need to be looking at the customer. We need to be looking at internal processes as well as learning and growth. Okay, so key performance indexes need to be in line with what critical areas are needed for the organization's success. Okay, so that's why we need to look at a whole balanced approach, not just money. So sometimes you're going to be able to use different ratings. Okay, so your manager then will come to you and you guys will decide how you are rated. So there's something called the graphic rating scale. Okay, so how well are you doing? He's doing perfect. He's doing excellent. He's doing average. He's doing below expectation, and he's doing hardly nothing. That's a graphic rating scale. So you get five different choices. Where are you out of those five different choices? Then you got something called the field review. Okay, so the field review allows different people to review you. So people that you work with, people that are in the organization, they will tell you what they think about this specific employee, and then they will sort of decide between themselves and the employee which level they're at. Okay, so there's more than just one person, and they sit together and they decide where this person is in terms of those key performance areas. Then there's a forced choice rating. Okay, so they are good, they are not good, they are um, not performing. You would have one out of those five different areas that you would have to choose. And then sometimes they weighted. Okay, so in other words, certain things are more important than other things. Him arriving on time is a very important thing. So that's a weighted profile. It gets 60% of the weight. Him filling out the billing slips right every single time is a very important thing. So it has a higher weighting. Him making sure that his desk is always neat. Well, sometimes it will happen, sometimes it won't happen. It's not that crucial. So it has a lower weighting. So depending on how critical that task is, it is a higher weighting according to how important it is. And then you've got something called a critical incident appraisal. So if I've done something wrong, I get marched into the boss's office. Now that's not a good thing. So it's called a critical incident appraisal. These only happen when someone has done something wrong or not followed a policy or a principle or a process. So that's normally quite a negative thing. So just be aware that this is how you could be monitored. Right, so I'm going to show you two possible little ways of being monitored. So you'll see there's two different performance evaluations. This one over here, they've got a whole list of things that you need to achieve, and then your manager's gonna decide, okay, so where do you fit? Are you excellent, good, fair, or poor? Based on things like attitude, creativity, communication skills, and they will mark you. And then you are going to be in a little monitoring meeting or performance review, and according to what marks are over there, you'll get told how well you're doing. Over here, according to quality productivity, job knowledge, and reliability. They'll give you a mark, and that's all going to become divided by 4, divided by 3, divided by 7. And right at the end, they'll give you an average. And so that average becomes your average, and then we see if you're doing a good job or a bad job. So employee review or employee performance evaluation could be either of those two templates. Okay, so now we talk about KPIs. Okay, so according to the measurements that they're going to give to you, they create something called KPIs or key performance indexes. Now, those KPIs need to be everywhere. Everyone needs to know if they're doing a good job or a bad job. You do not surprise people with telling them that they're doing a bad job when they have no idea. So you make sure that there are KPIs that they know about and that they communicate. So over here, you post KPIs everywhere. In the canteen, on the walls of every conference room, on the company intranet, on the company website, so that everyone is aware of the KPIs. Then you show what the target for each KPI is and how far they are towards achieving that. And then people are motivated by seeing how close they are to their KPIs. There's also a process that you can use the performance data. So you make the plans, you give them the KPIs, you monitor it when you have your performance review. If they are not online, you coach them throughout the year to make sure that they are going to achieve their KPIs. You monitor the goal progress. If they're not doing well, then you add extra coaching. At the end of the year, you give an annual appraisal, and according to that, you can either get promoted, transferred, disciplined, or a pay rise, depending on how well you've done. And then based on that, you create another annual KPI for this employee. So there's a whole process. Okay, it involves coaching, aligning, and ultimately you might get promoted or even demoted based on what you are able to achieve. Okay, so let's go to formative section 3.2. Discuss the ways in which these monitoring systems are communicated to team members in order to promote buy-in. Give reasons and examples of whether these methods of communication are effective or not. Now, I want you to remember your last performance appraisal or performance review. What was expected from you? How was that communicated? Okay. So, did you come in blind? Did you have no idea of what to expect? Or were there certain goal sheets that you had to fill in? And how was that communicated? Okay. Was there a big conference where everyone was included? Did you give your feedback via some kind of questionnaire? But when you were informed about this performance appraisal or performance review, how was it communicated? Was it done well? Did you feel like you had all the answers? And tell me about this communication that was given to you. Okay, so that's formative 3.2. Summative 3.2. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to complete the table. Okay, so let's go to this one over here. Let's go to summative 3.2. Right, there it is. Okay, so complete the table below by identifying and reviewing the different kinds of performance monitoring systems that could be used in your business. Now, those are the ones that we spoke about in this slide. So let me go back to this one, and then you can see, there we go. So here are four different rating scales or methods. Okay, so you're going to tell me which one could be used in your business. Okay, so tell me about those three or those four and how they could be used in your business. Over there, review of the system. Okay, based on your workplace policies and procedures for performance assessment, state which one of those would you have selected. So which way do you want to be monitored? Is it through a field review? Is it through a weighted scale? Is it through a critical appraisal system? So you look at those four different things, okay, and you decide which one you would like to be reviewed on, okay. Based on the performance monitoring system from the previous question, so which one have you chosen? Is there a system that is set up or in place for the system? So do you have a system already? Okay, if you do, is it according to that scale? If it is not, how would you create a system that can make sure that your performance reviews are done in that way. Okay, so that's how you're going to be answering those questions. Once you've done that, you're going to explain that to a team member or to someone who is going to mark you. So you would tell them about this performance monitoring system. You'd tell them about the advantages and disadvantages of that system, and then they are going to give you some feedback. Okay, so based on what systems you've chosen, you're going to tell them about how it could be used and monitored, and then they are going to give you some feedback and they're going to fill in this feedback form. So, guys, you've got a formative, you've got a summative, and you've got a simulated feedback. So, that's going to take you a little bit of time. I'd say give yourself 40 minutes to be able to do those exercises. And when you have done, then you come back to the next video.